Hi everyone, welcome to SAM IELTS YouTube channel. Well, this channel is actually dedicated to the ambitious people, the people who want to learn English, either for their work or they want to settle down in abroad. For settle downing in abroad, either for work or study, you need to clear the IELTS exam, which is the International English Language Test. You need to get 8777. And I believe you that you have to get 8+ band in the first attempt itself. So if you are someone who want to get 8+ band in the first attempt itself, then I would strongly recommend you to subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon so that you can regularly get our IELTS videos. Also, please subscribe to our Instagram community so that you will get a lot of information regarding the IELTS exam. Well, what are you waiting for? Today's topic is all about the IELTS speaking. Well, today I'm going to provide you a bunch of connectors that you can actually use in the IELTS speaking to enhance your score. These bunch of connectors are actually called as the linking words or cohesive devices. There are so many words for this. You need to understand in our normal day-to-day life, we don't really use these cohesive devices. Whereas the native speakers actually use these cohesive devices. So in order to prove your efficiency in the IELTS exam, you need to learn these cohesive devices along with the connectors so that you can actually implement in the IELTS speaking exam. If you want any help related to the IELTS, please visit www.samielts.in or our team WhatsApp number 90431 40844 to book a free demo. Well, today's topic, as I told you, we are going to discuss the connectors, the advanced phrases that you can actually use in the IELTS speaking exam. First of all, I'm going to tell you 3 different type of questions you need to understand while going for the IELTS speaking exam. The first question is all about what do you think? What is your opinion? What could be this possible solution? So these are all the 3 different varieties of question the examiner will ask you. So I'm going to give you the phrasal verbs for this. First, you need to understand you actually use a lot of words. I think, I think, I think. Yes, this is a common phrasal verb in the IELTS exam. What do you think about this? Well, I think. What do you think about the swimming? Well, I think. What do you think about the team sports? Well, I think. Please don't use the word I think. Instead, you can use in my view, in my perspective. Well, I reckon. I would rather say. As far as I am concerned, use these phrasal verbs which would act as a very good connector, as well as this phrasal verb you can usually use to kickstart your answer. Remember, instead of using the I think word, you can use so many things. I guess. I suppose. These phrasal verbs will actually enhance your scoring pattern. Remember, instead of using I think, there are so many words and make a list of all those words, practice and then go on for the IELTS speaking exam. What do you think about the people who are having cats? Well, I guess those people are really compassionate. So, use these phrasal verbs instead of the word I think. Alright, let's move on into the next important thing. The next important thing that I am going to teach you today is that how to start answering the question. You can either start answering to the examiner directly. However, there are certain words which are called as fillers that you can actually use to improve your answering pattern. So what are these fillers? These words don't have any particular meaning. These phrasal verbs are actually used by so many native speakers. So if you want some brainstorming timing, then you can actually use these fillers. Well, first of all in all, firstly, in my opinion, use these phrasal verbs. These are all the phrasal verbs. I will tell you another few phrasal verbs which are actually used by the native speakers. By and large, which means mostly. Between you and me, which means I'm going to tell you a secret. To be honest, honestly. To be totally upfront, which means I'm going to tell you the truth. Use these kind of phrasal verbs to kickstart your answer. Before telling the actual answer, you can use these linking words which is called as the fillers in order to fill up the gaps as well as in order to get 8+ band in the first attempt itself. The next important thing that I am going to teach you today is that other than the fillers, how to start your answer. First of all, firstly, these are all some of the phrasal verbs that you can actually use to start your answers. In my eyes, in my perspective, for my eyes, to kickstart. Note all these words or the phrasal verbs, you can use this in any of the answer. This is not to any particular answer. You can use these phrasal verbs to answer any questions. Alright, so next I am going to give you another set of phrasal verbs which you can actually use to conclude your answer. So how to conclude your answer? This becomes a huge question for many of the IELTS aspirants who are actually looking for the IELTS speaking part 2. So I'm going to tell you the phrasal verbs. In the nutshell, overall, all in all, to summarize up. Remember, these phrasal verbs are conversational phrasal verbs. You cannot say in conclusion, to conclude. These are all something called as the written phrasal verbs. Remember, the IELTS exam is the conversational exam and they don't expect you to give a lot of written vocabulary. Instead, they ask you to provide a lot of conversational vocabulary. So, use these phrasal verbs in order to conclude your answer. Alright, what is the next thing I'm going to teach you today? The next thing I'm going to teach you today is that you can actually say the examiner like, I have mixed up my minds. Which means you are going to describe both the sides. So, what do you think about the people who are actually having pets? Well, I have mixed up my minds. On one hand, these people are really compassionate. Well, on the other hand, these people are actually disturbing the neighbors. Did you hear that carefully? Yes. So, actually I provided the argument on one side, on the other side. Which means on one hand, on the other hand. Actually, you can use these phrasal verbs together. Or you can say, but then. You can use this but then word in order to provide the next argument. So, when you want to say a mixed up of minds, you need to give two arguments to the examiner very clearly. Use these phrasal verbs at least in any one of the IELTS speaking question. Also, I am going to provide you another type of answer that you could actually use in the IELTS speaking. The next answer is that yes and no. For example, are you really comfortable with your pets? Yes and no. On one hand, I would say that actually it is very friendly to me, so I am really compassionate with it. But then, I am not interested much in the pets regarding the cleaning and taking bath of them. Did you hear that? Yes. So, I am providing two arguments. I have used the phrasal verb but then. Remember, but then is a phrasal verb that you can actually use to give two answers to the examiner. Well, these are all the different types of connectors, advanced vocabulary or the phrasal verbs that you can actually use in the IELTS speaking exam in order to get band 8+. If you really like this video, please like, share and subscribe. If you are really looking for the IELTS tutoring, please visit www.samielts.in or our team WhatsApp number 90431408844. Also, never forget to follow us in the Instagram community where you will get a lot of information regarding the IELTS exam.